Yo, 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 it's your boy Cool Blue. Back at it again with another video here on the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Today is May 18th, 2021, episode 20, and the title of the episode is Who Will Win the Stanley Cup? So, what's going on, everybody? I know we're a couple days late on this video. Like I said before, I'm trying my best to post every day, but I do have other things that are going on in life right now. I do have another job, a regular full-time job. So it does make it a little difficult to get a posting up every day. I am trying, but the title of the episode today is Who Will Win the Stanley Cup? And unfortunately, the Philadelphia Flyers are not in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. As everybody knows, they did have a rough year this year. Honestly, I usually run a bracket challenge league with about 40 people. One year we had almost 50, but it's around 40. And I just was so out of it. Like I've been so busy with my, full-time job. I've been so busy just, when I'm not working my full-time job, like I feel like there's certain things I do to just escape from, stress and, what have you, with everything that's going on in today's world. And there are some other sports. Philadelphia, congratulations to the 76ers for making their NBA playoffs and clinching the number one seed in their respected division and conference. So, I've been watching other sports, but hockey's my favorite. That's why we have a channel for it. But, yeah, so we're a couple days late. Now, I know a couple games have been played already. But we're gonna go through each series matchups, and we're gonna talk about how I think the series is gonna go, who's gonna win the series and how many games, and we'll talk about each series, each round going up and leading to the Stanley Cup. We'll talk about the matchups for each ones as as the games go on. But I will be honest with you, with the COVID and the pandemic and everything, I haven't really watched as much West Coast games as I used to, and that's mainly because a lot of the West Coast games always come on so late, right, for us. And normally when we travel to these West Coast teams, like when we're playing LA and the Sharks and we're playing Edmonton and Vancouver and some places that have different time zones, the games are different times, and sometimes they're 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, 10:30. And it does happen, and those are the games where I like to watch because I'm like, oh well, we get to see the West Coast teams, and we get to see the Western Conference teams, and because we didn't really do that this year. Well, we didn't do that at all this year because we stayed within our respective divisions, and our divisions, everyone is literally within a 2-hour drive. Maybe Boston's a little further. I think it might be 4 hours to get to Boston. Maybe 6. I'm not too sure. I've never been to Boston personally, but we'll just say it's 4 to 5 hour drive without traffic. Don't quote me on that though, but because we always played the same teams that are so local, there's never any time changes. The only time there was a time difference was when we had prime time, and that wasn't really that often this year, I feel like. So I haven't really followed that many teams that I normally do. Now, I do like the Golden Knights. I'm a fan of the Golden Knights. I have a Golden Knights t-shirt. A Golden Knights Vegas jersey. I have a white one. And I like the Knights because I was there for the first time the Flyers ever played in that stadium. I flew out there with some friends. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. And I don't really have a second team that I like to cheer for the NHL. So I was like, oh, let me pick the Vegas Knights. I can say oh, I started cheering for them since day one. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, I'm not crazy about the Vegas Knights. I don't watch all their games. I don't buy tons of jerseys. Like I said, I have one. It's not even a real jersey. It's a knockoff. But I figured, why not? So I will say I want to see the Vegas Knights win. Will they win? Like, do I think they will win? We'll dive into that when we get to their matchup. And I'm just going off the NHL's app as far as like round one matchups, and I'm going from top to bottom. So there's no like particular order as far as like these are my matchup favorites or anything like that. I'm literally just going to go through the matchups from top to bottom and talk about them that way. But yeah, I do like the Vegas Knights, so I'm kind of glad to see that they're in there. But like I said, with being so busy, the Vegas Knights, even in the playoffs, they're only playing people in their divisions for the first round, and they go on so late. Like they usually don't start until like 10:30 for our time in Eastern time. They usually don't come on until like 10:30. So it's a little harder to watch full games, especially when you have to be up at like 5:30 in the morning the next day. But I'm hoping like when they play like on the weekends, like on a Friday night or a Saturday, I'll be able to catch some more of their games. And I did catch a couple games of the playoffs already. It's hard to watch some of them, and we'll dive in a little bit to that when we get to the matchups. But all right, so let's go. Let's start this. First of all, I want to say because of how many times that we played and the fact that we only played our division, I don't want to see anybody out of our division advance. Not even to the second round. I'm just going to be honest with you on the channel here. I could care less if. Hold on for a second. Okay, that was not really important. Okay, I could care less if Pittsburgh, the Islanders, the Capitals, Boston. I could seriously care less if any of those teams were to even make it out of the first round. That's how much I can't stand them. Now, typically I would say Pittsburgh, I never cheer for Pittsburgh. I never cheer for Pittsburgh, and I never cheer for Boston. Now, I have some friends that are Washington fans because I'm not too far from Washington. I can't say I'm a Washington fan. I know people that cheer just because of Ovechkin. I know some people that are Islanders fans. So, I mean, I like to see them happy. But honestly, just the way that this season went, like I said, I don't want to see anybody win. But someone has to win. So, let's start it off. We're going to go Penguins, Islanders. I do think the Islanders are a better team than the Penguins this year. The Penguins are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They can be hot. They have Crosby. They have Malkin. It's hard to count the Penguins out. I know they are the number 1 seed, and the Islanders are the number 4 seed. But in my opinion, I think that the Islanders are just a better team. Like I said, this year with the standings and I mean, if the Islanders, honestly, they could have played Pittsburgh all their games before half the season was over. We don't know that. Okay, we don't know if that's true. But they could have. They could have front-loaded their season with the Pittsburgh matchups. And then by the time the back end of the schedule came around, there was just literally statistically no way to catch the Penguins in the standings. I don't know if that's true, but it could be. And it could be that way for any of these matchups for the first round. After the first round, it really doesn't matter, in my opinion. It doesn't really matter what seed you were coming in, because if you make it past the first round, you're going up against another team. It's literally the only team you have to beat to get past your conference. So, like I said, I don't think it really matters at that point. But, yes, I think the Islanders are a better team. I think they will win the first round against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm going to say it's going to be in game 6 or 7. I don't think you're going to sweep the Penguins. I don't even think that Crosby would allow that. I think Crosby and Malkin can get you at least one game. The way they play in their building, I would say they're going to Pittsburgh's probably going to win 2. I could honestly go 7. This matchup is so good statistically. It could go 7, but I'm going to say 6 or 7 because I think that the Islanders could pull off a 2-0 start, get lucky on the road and then win it at home. They could, but either way, no matter what game they ended in, I think the Islanders they knock off Pittsburgh in the first round. Moving on to the second matchup, we have the Capitals versus the Bruins. This is tough, and the reason why this is tough is because I've never been a Bruins fan. I've never cheered for the Bruins. I don't like Boston in any sports that they are in. Don't like the Patriots. Don't like the Red Sox. Don't like the Celtics. I especially don't like the Celtics. But I've always been a fan of Chara. And it kind of sucked when I found out that he was being moved to Washington, because I'm like, why? Why couldn't you have gone to like a West Coast team that I could actually kind of cheer for you? I'm not going to cheer for you in Washington with Ovechkin. I'm not an Ovechkin fan, by the way. Never have been, never will be. Just not a fan of him. I have my reasons. Maybe we'll dive into that in another episode. We'll do like captains or something, like my favorite captains in my lifetime or something like that. Maybe we'll make that a separate episode. I don't want to dive too much into Ovechkin in this episode, but if Washington didn't just win the Stanley Cup recently, and they had Chara, I would be like, okay, well, if Chara won another one, like another cup, and then he retired, I can respect that. I can look past, it being a division rival. But the fact that they already won a cup recently, and the fact that I don't like Ovechkin. I don't like Tom Wilson. I don't like Oshie. I'm like, I really just don't want you to win. Boston, as much as I don't like the city of Boston, not like in person, like I've never been to Boston, but just like sports talk, like I'm only talking about sports. I'm not talking about like like the people from that area or anything like that. I'm specifically talking about the sports teams. Okay, I just want to make that very, very clear. Now, I have been to some cities, and there are cities that I don't really like. Like, honestly, and this has nothing to do with their sports teams. Just like Pittsburgh, I've been to Pittsburgh. It was cool. It was fun to go to, but like in a sense of like while I was there, and it was for the Stadium Series game. But honestly, like the city was not one of my favorite cities to go and visit. But that has nothing to do with the people or anything like that. It's just a personal preference. So when I say that, when I say I don't like a city, I'm talking specifically about their city sports teams. But it's hard because there are some players on Boston that I actually like to watch that are good. Now, it just sucks that they're wearing the black and yellow stripes for the Boston Bruins, but I can't deny that they do have some players that I honestly like watching play. Now, they also have Brad Marchand, which I don't like. He's the Rat. That's his name. I'm not going to change how I call him the Rat. He is the Rat. So it's just tough. Like, does my dislike for Brad Marchand overweigh the Ovechkin and Oshie and Tom Wilson? I don't know. So this one, I'm going to say it's not going to bother me either way who wins, because I think, honestly, the Islanders are going to beat either team in the next round. I think the Islanders are the best team in this little bracket here. So I'm going to go with Boston. I think I want Boston to win just because I'm just tired of the Capitals. I'm just over them. You got one cup. Give it a rest. And they also have Peter Laviolette, who's a Flyers ex-coach. I don't want another Flyers ex-coach to win a cup. Although he deserves to win a cup, it just sucks that he didn't win it when he was in Nashville. And now he has a chance to win in Washington. I'll be just pissed. I'll just be an unhappy Flyers fan. More unhappy than I already am because our team sucks. But I'm going to go Boston for this series. Once again, this is such a close matchup. I'm going to say Boston in 6. I think they did lose game one, but I think they'll come back. And wait, no, the series is tied, right? Yeah, they lost game one, they won game two. I'm gonna say that Boston's gonna win game three. They're gonna win game four, lose game five, win game six. It's over. That's what I'm gonna say. I'll give Washington two wins in the series. So I think they're gonna win that one. Moving on to the next round, like I said, I think with the Islanders and the Boston matchup, I think the Islanders were going to take that one as well. And then Islanders would be sitting at the top of that conference, the Eastern Division. Okay. Moving on to the Central, which these are a lot of teams that we would have played. These are a lot of teams that we would have played throughout the season that really would have changed the game. And they also are teams that would be in the bracket. So, we could have played one of these teams. I don't know. Or any of the teams I mentioned could have played one of the teams that I'm about to mention in the second round. But, okay. Here it goes. The first matchup in the Central Division that we're going to talk about are the Florida teams. All right, which is kind of cool, right? Isn't it cool that your state has two teams and they're actually about to play each other in the playoffs? That's like the two LA teams playing each other. And you got the two Florida teams, and then you got your Canadian teams. And then, in PA, you have the Battle of Pennsylvania. You got the Flyers in Pittsburgh. I just think that's kind of cool. It might be just me. Gotta stay hydrated, people. Gotta stay hydrated. Drink your water. All right. So we have Panthers and Lightning. I know the Panthers are on the rise. They're the number 2 seed. Like I said, I don't really know everyone on the Panthers this year because, like I said, I haven't watched a Panthers game this year. Normally, I tune into other games, and I just didn't this year because of the pandemic. But the Lightning are good. They've been good. They just won the Cup. Is it tough to go back-to-back? Yes, of course. But I do think I'm just going to go off of pure experience with this matchup. I'm going to go Lightning. I'm going to say probably game 6. I think the Panthers can get you 2 wins in the series, but I think when push comes to shove, I think the Lightning with their experience, I think they'll end up topping the Florida Panthers. But no shot to Florida Panthers. They've been building for a while. They've come a long way in the last few years. They've appeared in the playoffs pretty recently, and it could go the other way. But in my opinion, I think that the experience is just it's gonna come down to playoff experience, and the Lightning definitely has that. Moving on to the next matchup, we have the Nashville Predators and the Carolina Hurricane. Now, I know that Carolina Hurricanes, they were deep into the playoffs. They were literally one goal away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals a couple years ago. They didn't make it. They're back. They're the number 1 seed in the Central Division. They're going up against Nashville, who also was recently in the Stanley Cup Finals. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if Carolina would have won that year in the conference finals, I think they would have played Nashville. Is that correct? Yeah, because Nashville is technically in the Western Division. Or the Western Conference. Huh. I don't know. They juggled some of the teams around this year because of COVID and where your location was. But I'm pretty sure that's real. Because I'm pretty sure that Carolina lost to Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh went and played Nashville, and then Pittsburgh beat Nashville in the Stanley Cup. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments if that's correct or if that's incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. But honestly, it's kind of hard for me to pick Carolina. I do like Nashville. I have nothing against Carolina, but I think Nashville is going to take this one. I think you're going to see Nashville and the Lightning in the second round for the Central Division. And then, honestly, I think you're going to see the Lightning make it to the conference finals again and play. I guess they would play the Islanders because I think the Islanders are going to win. So I think they would play those two. I think those two are going to play. Or maybe they would play the West Division. Nah, that can't be right. The Islanders would play the Lightning, and then out of that one, I honestly think that the Lightning would win. I think the Lightning can make it back to the Stanley Cup. We'll see if they're good enough to win based on who I think is going to win the West. But I'm just going to leave it at Islanders, Lightning, Eastern Conference Finals for right now. All right, moving on to, let's see, what division are we going to next? Oilers and Jets. The Jets. All right, I can't see what division that is, but I'm pretty sure that is the North Division. Let's see. Yep, North Division. All right. Oilers, Jets. I'm going to straight up say this. I'm a big Connor McDavid fan. I think that he's a fantastic hockey player. I think that he is a team that you can put on your back, and he can get you series wins. I think he's that good. I think he's that talented, and I'm 100% jealous that he's on the Flyers. I would love if he was on the Flyers, but he's not. He's on the Edmonton Oilers, going up against the Winnipeg Jets. The Oilers are the number 2 seed. The Jets are the number 3 seed. I'm gonna just straight up say that Edmonton Oilers are winning this series. I will give the Jets 1 win, and I'm gonna say they cap it out in 5. That's my prediction. Moving on. Then we're gonna go to Toronto and Montreal. Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal. Montreal. I remember playing them in the bubble. They're little pesters, man. They're just like they're like ants that just crawl on you, and you have to flick them off. I don't like the Canadians. I don't like the Montreal Canadiens. And I don't like them against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to say Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 or 6. Which leaves us with Toronto and Edmonton in the second round. Oh boy. That's going to be if that's the series, I might have to watch every game because that's going to be a good series. You got Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid fighting for the number 1 spot in the North Division to play in the Western Conference Finals. Oh, my goodness. How sweet would that be? That'd be cool. That would be really cool. Cool matchup. I'm just going to say I'm going Edmonton because I want Edmonton. And like I said, I like Connor McDavid. So I'm going to say Edmonton makes it to the conference finals for the Northern Division. And I do think I think that series would go 6 or 7. Most likely 7. I think it would go 7. Because just as much Connor could steal you a game, so could Austin Matthews. But I do think that the Oilers, I don't know, man. It could go either way. I mean, Toronto's been building. They've been pretty consistently good for a while. But I'm gonna go Oilers. That's a bias. That's a biased pick right there. I can't be biased in the East Conference because I hate all those teams. In the Central Division, I just think that the talent is just more in favor for the Lightning. But this division, I'm going bias. I'm biased towards the Oilers and McDavid. Thank you, McDavid, for making that easy. Because if McDavid wasn't on the team, I'd probably say that Toronto would win. All right, so Toronto representing the Northern Division. Moving on to the Western Division. The West Division, not the Western Conference. We'll get to that in a minute. The West Division, 2021. Actually, it says 20/21, season 20. Representing 2020 and 2021. Gosh, I can't talk, man. Jeez. First matchup, we have, let's see. We have the Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. Oh, man. I don't even. My Golden Knights, man. Golden Knights going in. The Wild have been good for a while. They've been making runs. I just don't think that they're gonna in 7 games. I just don't see them beating uh, Vegas 4 times. That's all. I think Vegas is just good. They're just a good team. They've been good literally since day one. Um, they have playoff experience. I know the Wild do too. The Wild have been in the playoffs almost every year. I just don't think that they're going to beat Vegas in 7 games. I'm looking at someone else's bracket right now, and they have Minnesota in 7. If Minnesota wins in 7, I'm going to say Minnesota makes it to the conference finals, but I don't think that's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. And that's only because if they do win it in 7, that momentum is going to just carry them, and I think. Vegas, I'm gonna say Game 7. I think that series will go Game 7, maybe Game 6, but mostly 7. I think the Wild have the first win for that series. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, they do. Yeah, like I said, look at these start times. 10 p.m., 9:30, 8. Like. The 8 o'clock one is a Saturday, which is nice. I'm off this Friday, so I'll be able to watch Game 3, which is at 9:30. But it's just so hard to catch like the 10 o'clock games because like they're just so much later. Now, obviously, if the Flyers are playing against these guys in the Stanley Cup Finals, and there was a game at 10 o'clock, I'm staying up every second of that game. But that's not the case. So Vegas in 6 or 7, most likely 7. But I think they take that. Moving on to the last first round matchup, we have Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. The Blues, I mean, they won 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're a good team. They've been a good team for a long time. They have the playoff experience. They have the actual Stanley Cup experience. Colorado, they've been good too. They've been coming up. It's such a tough matchup for that one. I don't really know who to pick in that. Like, I want to pick the Blues because I feel like the Blues have more experience. But Colorado's good, man. They're a good team. Like, that is a really tough matchup, in my opinion. Really tough. I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest with you. I'm going to say Colorado wins it. Colorado, Vegas in the second round. Vegas, I still think, would take that. That's going to go Game 7. The Colorado St. Louis Blues series, I'm going to say 6. Game 6. And then the Game 7 against Vegas. That's the only one I just don't know. I'm gonna say that Colorado probably will win that. No. Vegas is good, man. I'm going Vegas all the way for the Western Division, beating Colorado, Game 6 or 7. And then we have, the conference finals rounds. Now, the way is the click to make a semi-final selection. I don't really know what that means. Okay, so they have. See, I don't really know how the bracket challenge is set up this year because I didn't do one, but it's definitely different from years past. Like normally, so I had Islanders in East Division, Tampa in Central. Those two would play each other, and then I had Edmonton, North Division, and Vegas in West Division. North and West would play. East and Central would play. I'm pretty sure that's how this is going to set up. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going. I think the Lightning win against the Islanders in the Eastern Conference Finals. They make a back-to-back Stanley Cup appearance. And I'm going to go with they were going to play the Vegas Knights. And I'm going to say that the Vegas Knights win it all, and they get their first ever Stanley Cup win and trophy for the Las Vegas Knights organization. That's my picks. Let me know down in the comments if you filled out a bracket. Let me know down in the comments who you think's going to win. What do you think the outcome's going to be for each series? I'm really curious to see how people will respond to this year's bracket challenge. Me personally, I just been so busy. I didn't fill out an actual bracket challenge, but those are the picks that I would have picked. I'll write them down so I know which one I picked. Well, I have them written down right here. I wish everyone the best of luck. I think whoever wins this one is going to really, really deserve the win, because last year I remember the Lightning winning in the bubble. There's no fans. They had some family members. A lot of them called their family members. I don't think they had any family members on the ice, as I recall. But I remember all of them calling their family members and FaceTiming and stuff. And I remember them saying, like, this is the hardest cup to win because they were in isolation, in the bubble, and whatnot. But I got to be honest with you. I'm curious to see if the Lightning win again this year, right? Will they say that this year was harder or easier than last year's? Because you got to remember, we went into the bubble with only like 2 weeks left in the season. And yes, the bubble was challenging for all teams, and it was different, no fans. But this year we started with no fans. We played with no fans for almost half the year, and then we got fans. And then, there was a shortened season. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't leave your hotel room if you were on the road. So was the isolation worse this year because it was almost a full year of isolation? Or was it worse when you're in the bubble for 3 months and you couldn't see your family and stuff besides FaceTime? So I'm just curious. I mean, I think both are probably challenging, and like I said, I think anyone that is playing in the playoffs this year for all respected sports, especially hockey, because this is what the channel is all about. I just think that whoever wins truly, truly deserves it a little bit more than other years, unless it's Pittsburgh, because fuck Pittsburgh. But, yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think. What do you think is going to happen? What series you're going to follow the most? And let me know who you picked to win the Stanley Cup. Also, check me out on Twitter. I try to get on Twitter as much as possible. You can @ me, ask me questions, maybe suggest different titles for the episodes, as far as ideas. I'm kind of an open book right now on what to talk about. This gives us some material to talk about, like with different matchups and how the series are going to progress, which is nice. But then once the Stanley Cup's over, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about other stuff. So just let me know down in the comments. Let me know on my Twitter. My Twitter is linked in my YouTube channel. Just let me know. Give me some ideas. But all right. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. All the love is greatly appreciated. Hit up that bell for notifications. You'll be notified anytime I do a live stream or post a video up on the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next video. Go Flyers.